Al, you feel better this week, which is a big plus. You do not sound like
Yes.
you're just going to keel over and just be completely very very ill.
Yeah.
Congratulations on improving from last week.
Yay, thank you.
So, of course, that means it's time to talk about more Inuyasha.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome to this week's episode of Jared and Al Watch Inuyasha. It's episode number 10. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Allen Ladium.
Hello.
We are discussing season 1, episode number 10, called Phantom Showdown, the Thunder Brothers versus Tetsusaiga.
Tetsusaiga.
So yeah, we just basically are kicking off from last week's episode and continuing on here.
Including a recap.
Because you gotta have a recap. Recaps, they're very in. We do get a little bit beforehand where we see Montan just riding a carriage. He's got all these ladies around him. He's got this lovely hair, and then it all falls out, and they're like, "Oh God, you!"
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, that was a dream. Weird." And then we get the long recap, which I looked at the timer right before we ended the recap and it hit the title screen. It was like almost 4 minutes into the episode.
Oh my God.
Oofa doofa. But yeah, the Thunder Brothers are fighting Inuyasha and the crew because that's what they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gotta end this fight.
Gotta end the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So Inuyasha's fighting Hitan, and then Kagome and Shippo are dealing with Montan. Shippo uses a giant little spinning top on Montan to just like bury him in the ground, and Kagome's like, "Whoa, that's cool!" And what's his face, the flea,
Myoga, we kind of learn how Shippo's powers work.
He's like, "It's an illusion. It's an illusion, Michael." That's all I thought about when they were talking about illusions.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Shippo is Job.
Oh man, that's the best comparison ever. And he also makes more hair fall out with the top.
The final piece of hair, which he's freaking out about all this, like these 3 little strands of hair, but he's got like a rat tail.
Yeah, he's got a rat tail. He's got hair. It's just not where he wants it.
Yeah, you got the skullet going on. So there you go. So that happens, and Montan gets real mad because his last piece of hair fell out, and he starts attacking with his mouth beam. Kagome is like, "Hey, Shippo, I got an idea. Let's trick this dude so he can't find us." So Shippo transforms into Kagome and traps him with hair, and then Kagome's like, "Haha, I got you. I will stab you with the arrow." Or she pulls the arrow out of his nose finally, and it's like, "I'll stab you with the arrow where your shard is." But then Montan's like, "Get away from me."
Yeah, what do you
get out of here?
God.
You fool. Then he starts choking Kagome, and it's real messed up.
Yeah, it's real messed up.
And Inuyasha hears it and is like, "Oh no." Except he gets like stabbed right in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's real messed up.
And the other guy's like, "Yeah, you really should pay attention in battle. Like, you can't get distracted by ladies. That's bad.
Your human compassion will be your downfall. Half-breed."
Like, we haven't heard that before.
So yeah, the Thunder Brothers basically start taunting Inuyasha, and then Inuyasha like chucks Tetsusaiga, and Hitan's like, "Oh, you missed me, you fool! You can't throw." But it wasn't he wasn't aiming at him. He was aiming at Montan, and he moitas him.
Moited.
Just like impales him right through the chest.
It's pretty impressive.
Kagome and Shippo get away, and she's like, "I gotta get Tetsusaiga," and Shippo's like, "Get my dad's fur," and she's like, "I can't carry them both." What do you want me to do?
Like, Montan was like, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of like gaining weight and I need a little bit of an expansion." I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, that's messed up. And he's like, "Oh, I could skin you alive like I did your dad."
Right?
Oh my God. This is
real messed up.
Real messed up.
So Hitan runs over to Montan as he's dying, and they have this brotherly moment together, which is like weirdly nice. It's like you would not expect from villains.
It is really nice. Like it's a sympathetic moment where like you get to see their family and like what their dad and their mom looked like, and finds out that like Monson looks like their mom, and that he's always been jealous of his brother and his hair and how he looked like his dad, and um that he would like want to be reborn bald as long as he could continue to be his brother. I was like, oh wow.
It's like I was surprised at how much like they kind of gave them this moment together, considering like
Yeah.
they're just monster of the week villains
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. So that happens. Hitan then basically chomps out the shards that were in Montan's head and
Yep.
makes himself more
Now he
powerful.
has 5 shards.
And Myoga's like, Lord Inuyasha, you have to watch out. He's going to be way more powerful now.
And you're
Inuyasha's like,
just like,
what
bro, where
if?
you been this whole
Yeah.
time?
He shoots a giant lightning ball at him, and Myoga's like, use the sheath of Tetsusaiga to block it, because apparently that's just how you can just block electricity. Is just use your sword sheath.
Yeah, and like the funny thing about it is that Inuyasha's just standing there. He's like, I can't block this. I'm like, dude, you could like walk
Yeah,
to
it's
the
just like
right.
slowly coming to him, and he's like, I can't get out of the way in time.
I was like, what?
Like, okay.
So yeah, he's got a block with the sheath, and the good part about it is that it works. And then Myoga's like, oh, good, good, good. You know, I'm glad that that worked. And Inuyasha's like, you just bet on a hunch here?
It's like,
God.
whoa, glad that worked.
Yep.
So Kagome and Shippo are kind of like off by themselves watching, and Inuyasha just keeps having to block with the sheath. Eventually, it just starts to overpower him and begins to crack, which is no good. But Kagome comes up with an idea to try and make Hitan a little bit slower, because he has these like wheels on his feet. She's like, if I hit one of those wheels, it will make him slower. But I need a bow. Chip was like, I got you. And it looks like he just like turns into like this like crescent bow, like a
Yeah, and
bow
she
you'd
says
wear on
like,
your head
I
or
didn't
something.
want
And
a slug.
he's like, I am a bow. Please use me correctly. So she's able to hit it because Shippo is able to kind of help her aim and everything. Blows up one of the wheels, and it gives Inuyasha a little bit of an advantage,
But
which is
he also
good.
just like grabs onto the pike and is like getting electrocuted.
He's
And
like,
he's
I
like,
got
bro,
this.
bro, why?
And he throws the sheath away, and Byoga's like, what are you doing, you dummy? And then he just punches him.
Yep.
That's all he did.
Yep.
He just punches him.
Yeah, and Myoga starts doing like all kinds of like, oh, I got him with a right hook, and I never doubted you for a moment.
He reminded me of Ben Stiller in Dodgeball. And he's like, his whole thing was like, I've never been hit in the face before. All I was like, think of was, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. There you go.
We also find out though that when he took his brother's shards, he got his brother's like mouth laser.
Yeah, because Kagome and Shippo run off to try and get to Taiga. Then he's like, bleh,
Bleh.
and shoots them.
And they
And he's like, well, they're
dead.
dead. And then Inuyasha's like, ah! And headbutts Hitan and then slashes him in half.
Yep.
Moitas him.
Moidism.
So they get 5 shards, and Myoga's like, Lord Inuyasha, the 5 shards are here. And Inuyasha's like, I don't care, dude.
Yeah.
I just saw people
Whatever.
die. That is not cool. And then like Kagome and Shippo appear in like this blue fog, and Myoga's like, "Oh yes, their souls are about to leave and bid you farewell." And he's like, "No, don't go." And then like he grabs onto Kagome, and Kagome's like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" It's like the fog just like fades away, and then Myoga's like, "Oh yes, I meant that was the foxfire. Yep, that was protecting them. That's it's easy mistake to make."
And he was just like, really now, is
He's
it?
like, "Yeah, I always make the same mistake."
I do like though this is the first time that we really see Inuyasha actually like care about the people that he's with.
Mm-hmm.
Like he genuinely was like bummed out, and this is the first time we see him like not have the shards as his priority.
Mm-hmm.
So character development.
It's true. The end of the episode, Kagome keeps trying to ask why Inuyasha was upset. Myoga explains that he thought they were dead. And then Shippo's tagging along with him. He's like, why is Shippo coming along? We don't need him. And Shippo's like, I'm an orphan now.
Kagome's like, he's basically homeless.
You have to take care of me. And then Inuyasha is sort of like, hey, your village called. They want their idiot back. And then Inuyasha gets bonked.
Yep. And party member get. Because Shippo is here for the long haul now.
Except for next episode.
Well, yeah.
He's not there at all.
He's not there at all, but Shippo is a character that we will have for the entire series.
So that's it for this episode. Let's talk about some notes and differences.
Okay.
This marks the first time Inuyasha has used the sheath of Tetsusaiga to defend himself.
Yeah,
True.
because he didn't know he could.
This was the first time an antagonist dies a sympathetic death. It was also the first time antagonists are shown to possess positive qualities. In this case, Hitan and Montan's brotherly love.
Brother.
And Hitan's maddened grief over losing his kid brother. This is also arguably the first time that Inuyasha openly shows that he cares about his companions. Wow, I can't believe they just they wrote down everything we just talked about in the last 5 minutes. He's devastated over his apparent inability to save Kagome and Shippo, and even goes as far to say he doesn't care about the jewel shards, when in previous episodes they were all he cared about.
Literally, I just said all that. Nice.
And the English dub at the end, when Kagome smacks the Inuyasha on the head for making fun of Shippo, it sounded like a sit command, even though she never says it. In the original Japanese version, Kagome says the sit command, which is why Inuyasha falls flat on his face.
I wonder why they didn't do that.
I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, we do know that this dub does take liberties sometimes, so who knows why.
Yeah.
With 2 from Montan and 3 from Hitan, that's 5 more shards recovered, leading to 7 collected so far. That's math.
We're doing progress.
Differences from the manga. Montan's opening dream of having a head full of hair only occurs in the anime. Hitan and Montan's talk before Montan dies is anime exclusive. In the manga, Montan dies immediately after being impaled by Inuyasha's Tetsusaiga. That's interesting.
So that's a good change, actually. Yeah.
When Hitan absorbs Montan's power in the anime, he merely bites into Montan's head where the Shikan shards are. In the manga, however, Hitan rips out and then eats Montan's heart to absorb his powers.
What?
I mean, we do know that this manga is just like violent as violent can be.
It's so brutal.
The anime extends the ending a bit to include Inuyasha and Kagome arguing over whether Shippo should go now, or where he should go now. Should he stay or should he go now? So that's going to do it for this episode. Next time, we will be discussing Season 1, Episode 11, called Terror of the Ancient No Mask.
No.
Watch out for spooky masks in the present time, because things are going to get weird.
Yep.
Especially timeline-wise.
Yep.
If you really think about it.
Yep.
So that's going to do it for this week. If you would like more from us, go to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool. It's where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Anime Checkup, Season Anime Checkup OVA. You'll also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you want more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. And you could buy our books, One Shining Moment of Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. Mm-hmm. So next week, let's learn about a mask.
Some flesh eating.
And flesh eating, yes. Gross.